Let's see. We were talking about, Mike says he knows how to choke someone out. Can you do it with one hand? Yes. But the way he grabbed Reed was not a legal choke. Oh, we're talking about the night stuff. Yeah, I mean, see, here's the thing. That stuff, to me, was misdemeanor BS. I've said this on the show before. There was an instance when I was a freshman in high school in football, and I had a coach on the other. We were scrimmaging the team below us, but he had been our coach for the 2 previous years with us. And I said something he didn't like. And as I was walking away, he knocked the holy living crap out of me from behind. I mean, I'm a freshman in high school. I probably weighed 150 pounds. So I go, bam, flying to the ground. And, I try to pop up, bam, back to the ground again. Try to pop up, bam, back to the ground again. I mean, hit you, 2-hand into the back onto the ground. Now, if that's on video, what does that get?
Fired.
Oh, lawsuit.
Right.
But you know what? Did I get hurt? No. What got hurt? My pride.
Yep.
Have I thought about that every since then? Yes. Did it teach me a lesson? Hell yes. Was I deserving of it? The first one, probably.
Well,
second, third one, maybe not. But my point being is that was 10 times, 100 times worse than anything I saw Knight do. Now, there are some other things that I know he's done that are worse than that. That's the problem.
Correct. Here's
that's the issue. That's the problem. It's the things that the people know and they saw.
Yeah.
It's the things that they don't know. And I'm going to tell you again, people, here's the thing that you have to remember. You don't know what you don't know.
Right. Here's the thing, too. Let's just pretend that it was the stuff that everybody knows about. Let's just pretend that's the case. We know that's probably not true, but let's pretend that's the case. 2 things can be true here. It was a different era, right? And so I think you have to acknowledge that when it was a different era, it was a different type of coaching, different type of personality. So you have to factor that in. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's just how it was. Okay? So you have to acknowledge that. The second part is, though, even if it is stuff that you look at and say, was it really that bad? If they told him to stop doing it and he continues to do it, that is a problem.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. It's not the action. It's you guys. You have openly defined me. Somebody said on here there was no zero tolerance policy. There was a zero tolerance policy in place.
Yeah,
that was immediately beforehand. But that's all I'm saying. Whether you think it was the stuff he did that we saw was egregious or not, the fact that they said, hey, you have to walk a pretty thin line here, and then a couple weeks, months, whatever it was later, he violates that. Again, grabbing a kid by the arm, I don't know how aggressive it was. I wasn't there. Don't know. Don't care. Don't care. But the fact that he did that when they specifically told him, stay in check, that's the problem.
You could also say he was accosted by a douche.
Look, that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just
he could have claimed self-defense. The funny thing is, it sounds like I'm on the pro Knight side on these. The thing is, I defend part of his side, and the other side, I'm like, oh, hell no.
Right.
He doesn't get a walk for that. No. Now, should he been allowed to do it's the other things that he did that he didn't get. And see, that's the thing.
Right.
If the other things were known, that would make the difference.
Sure.
And when someone that does know that and takes that into consideration to what they're doing, but other people don't know that, that's where it's not right.
Right.
Because it doesn't look, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, that's because you don't have all the information.
Right.
But that's on the fault of Indiana. So there was a lot of other things that had gone on. Is the problem behind the scenes that people just don't know about.
Right.
But that's why you use the crap you use. I'm like, oh man, that was.
But
that was so weak. I still think the Neil Reed thing's so weak. That's so weak.
You right, but do you really think Indiana wanted to let out what all it allowed Bob Knight to do?
No,
that's going to be 10 times worse.
Yeah, but see now, you open yourself up to that by firing him for grabbing a damn kid's arm.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of people that don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know everything that happened, but there's a lot of people that don't know.
I don't know everything that happened.
Right.
I know enough though, but I know enough.
See, and that's my point. People don't know even enough. There's a lot of that stuff still in the dark about what had happened during his time there. And that's because Indiana didn't let it out. They were not going to say, this is what we allowed to happen for 30 years because, dear God.
Well, the thing is, society changed. Robert said he graduated high school in 73. Coaches back then didn't give a crap about insulting and pushing you around. Hell no, that was part.
Right,
that was
that's different era.
That was part of it.
Yeah,
that was part of it. And I graduated a decade later than that, and it was still that way, baby. Trust me. And I was cool with that because that
you didn't know any
that
different.
Didn't bother me. When it didn't bother me, it motivated me. It's like I wasn't getting hurt. It's not like somebody's hurting me, physically hurting me. Again, the only thing that gets hurt is a lot of people's pride. A lot of people's pride gets hurt. And so there's that. Yeah, he may have won 3 titles, Heath, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. That's irrelevant to that, but he certainly did. Mike thinks that you understood his comment about no zero tolerance policy. That was a gotcha policy.
Okay.
There's a difference. They literally set him. He wasn't set up. Come on. See, I don't think how you set him up.
Right.
You say not to do something, you don't do it.
Don't do absolutely.
But see, that's the problem. Bob Knight did not see himself of ever being able to be reined in by anybody. That's another thing that aggravated the crap out of me about Bob Knight. He was the most what's the word I'm looking for? When you do something, say something and do the opposite. Hypocritical. It's so hypocritical person in the world. He preached all this stuff, but none of it bared down on him.
I always thought that too.
Follow those lines. He didn't have to follow those rules. Yep. That's the thing that bothered me. It was very hypocritical. Yeah, he did a lot of great things, yada, 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 but he did a lot of horrible things. So
right.
I'm not here to bash him, right? We just got on this conversation, but it just cracks me up.
Well, imagine just as an example, imagine if one of his players talked to the media the way he addressed the media.
It's a good question. Does IU still have the athletes' bill of rights? I would imagine they do. I don't know that it's been taken away. You know what? That would be good to get that and just read it to know what all's in there. I just know about the scholarship issues and where you can't be forced out of your scholarship. Basically, that's kind of what it started because scholarships were 1 year or 1 year renewable scholarships. And sometimes a coach would say, man, I don't like this player anymore. He's got to go.
Yeah.
Now, that's an issue. That was back before you had the transfer portal and the ability to move about for the players. If they had to leave, and even if they were forced out by a coach, they would have had to sit out an entire year. That wasn't fair. But boy, we gotten kind of off topic, but that's fine. I love getting off there.